That's us now.
Great.
Perfect. So we'll just hand right over to you then, Mary Claire.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Stephen, for allowing me to come along and do this wee presentation on the tools, the tips, the practices that I use for self-care on a daily basis. I've been kind of stalking you for the best part of this year, so I'm really, really grateful that we've managed to get chatting to each other today, and thanks very much to Jane and to Emma for introducing us. Thanks so much everybody for coming along today. I'm Mary Claire. Some of you will know me. I am co-founder of the fitness company, community-based fitness company that is Dream Fitness, along with my sister Joanna. I'm also a quantum energy coach and creator of Dream Magic superfood powders that I know some of you have tried. And this year I had a wee dream come true for me, and I wrote a book and managed to secure a publishing deal with a publishing house. So that's coming out early in the new year. So I am author of It Is What It Is. Right, that's me blowing my own trumpet enough. So when we're talking about self-care, I hope none of you were coming along to, think that I was going to talk about anything that you didn't already know about, because I'm not. Self-care for me, it's no rocket science. It's stuff that we already do most of the time, or we know that we should be doing most of the time. It's quite simple, but sometimes it's no easy because we're not prioritizing ourselves, and we're no, filling our cups up first before we then go on to serve other people. And I've found it the hard way, that if we don't fill ourselves up, if we don't look after ourselves and serve ourselves, then we don't have enough in us to serve the people that are closest to us, our clients, our families, our friends. So what I want to speak about today is the self-care toolkit that I use on a daily basis. And I'm going to be talking about things like gratitude, meditation, journaling, thinking about who our tribe is. I'm going to then touch on quantum energy coaching, which I've had the pleasure of training to do this year after the powerful impact it had in my life last year. Speaking a bit about fitness, then I'll touch on nutrition, specifically my superfood powders and how they've helped me to really look after myself mentally and physically. And then I'll finish off on sleep. So Stephen was talking, saying that somebody had came along yesterday to the clinic, the surgery, and was talking about sleep. So if you managed to see that session, I'm hoping that this will be a good wee follow on from that. And, if you've got any questions throughout, I will be taking questions at the end, but just put your hand up and, I'll shut up for a wee minute and you can ask your questions. So starting off then with gratitude, a gratitude practice for me has, been so powerful, especially this year when it could have been really, really easy to spiral into that place of, oh my God, woe's me. Oh my God, what's happening in the world? Oh my God, I've got nothing to look forward to. And there has been a lot of scientific studies into the power of gratitude and what happens to us mentally and physically when we create a gratitude practice for ourselves. The HeartMath Institute over in the US, they do masses of research into what happens when we practice gratitude, what goes on in our heart, what goes on in our brain. And what they've found is that gratitude, it makes us happier. It really helps to increase our self-esteem, because when we're expressing gratitude towards ourselves and towards the people that are in our world and towards the things that we're lucky enough to have, we start to feel better about ourselves and we start to feel better about our life. And following on from that, when we are, thinking about the things, the people that we've got in our life that we've really got to be grateful for, it helps to improve our relationships. Now, this morning before Kieran went out to school, I really had to practice gratitude because his room was an absolute and utter tip, and he never done took the bins out, and he never done the dishwasher. But I am so happy and grateful that I've got a 15-year-old teenage boy who brings me so much joy and happiness. But and it makes us much more optimistic when we're approaching our life from that place, that attitude of gratitude. We're more optimistic, we're looking forward to things a lot more, and we're just generally vibrating at that higher energy. And I talk about, energy vibration quite a lot. And, gratitude has been proven, the studies that have been done, and energy levels in our body, when we're coming from a place, or when we're feeling grateful and coming from that place of appreciation, our bodies are vibrating at that higher level. And that just makes us feel, got so the good hormones kicking around our body and our mind. When we're grateful, it's been proven that we're more giving. We're much more likely to give to others when we're coming from that place of gratitude, because it's tied really closely to abundance, because and the manifesting queen is here. She'll know this. When we are approaching life from that place of abundance, we have got much more to give the people that are closest to us and to give the world. We make better decisions. It helps us to find meaning in our world, and it improves our sleep. Every night, I've started it with my sisters this last couple of months, is we'll write a gratitude list before we go to bed, and we're writing 10 things that we're grateful for in that day. And we take a screenshot of it, and we've got a wee group chat on WhatsApp, and we send each other the list. And it's so powerful, even sharing your gratitude list, something that I've always practiced, but it's not something that I've shared. And this year I've started sharing it, and people are starting to share it with me, and it amplifies that whole feeling of, everything in this moment's okay. And then I can go to sleep, because I'm going to sleep from a place of, being grateful, feeling blessed, feeling optimistic about my life, and I always get a much better sleep. And it helps to improve our overall physical health, because we're not focusing on the things that are, maybe not so good. We're focusing on the things that are good. We're not picking faults that are on our body, or we're not focusing on that sniffle that we've got or anything, because we're looking at the good, we're looking at the health, we're looking at what is working well for us. So it does, and you'll all probably know, what we focus on, our energy flows to. So if we're focusing on the good, and we're focusing on health, we're focusing on abundance through gratitude practices, then these things start to flow to us. It's all energy, baby, and it's all out there in the quantum field. And we can create whatever it is that we want in life, and we do that. I say to my clients, gratitude is the gateway to transformation. If you can do one thing, it's practice gratitude on a daily basis. It's been super powerful for me and for the people that I'm working with. And then moving on to meditation, and I know that a lot of you here are massive meditators, and Stephen, I need to speak to you about your meditation course. Remind me. What meditation has done for me, and I am sharing my journey, my story. This might not resonate with you, but for me, when meditation found me about 5-6 years ago, it was a complete and utter game changer. I then started to be able to check in with my emotions. I then started to really think about what was going on for me emotionally and physically. It provided a space in between thinking and acting. And in that space, I had complete and utter clarity and choice. When I was faced with a stressful situation, I would take myself away. Mum's away to meditate, don't interrupt her. I would go away, whether I went to the toilet or whether I went to my bed, I would breathe for 2 or 3 minutes. It gave me that space, and in that space I could choose my course of action. And for me, I showed up much better as a mum, I showed up much better as a wife, and I showed up much better as a friend and a colleague. It really helped me to increase my concentration and my focus, and it reduced any feelings of stress and anxiety that were kicking around. And again, it improved my sleep. I'm talking about sleep. There's a theme this week, isn't there, Stephen? It's about getting the Zeds in, get the Zeds in. When I started meditating, now I remember the first time that I was introduced to some form of meditation, and it was in my late 20s, a long, long time ago, when I was going through a really, really, really difficult period of time, and I went to see a life coach. I signed up for a 6-week block of life coaching sessions, and the first thing that this life coach told me to do was to light a candle and just sit and look at the candle for 5 minutes every night, and just all the anxiety, all the disappointment, all the hurt that I was feeling, visualize that you are just transferring it into the flame of this candle and just let it burn away. And oh my God, that was so powerful for me. And that was my first kind of introduction to meditation. And like most things, I probably should have continued to do it, 20 odd years ago when I was first introduced to it, but I didn't. But so it found me again 5 or 6 years ago, and I really started to take it seriously, and I really started to create a meditation practice every single day. Now, some days I'm only meditating for 4 or 5 minutes. Some days I'm meditating for an hour. I always make time, however, to do some form of meditation, some form of sitting in silence. I'm a yoga teacher as well, so I do a bit of meditation with my classes at the end of every session. And they say to me, that's the best bit. That's the best bit. I love that bit the most. So for me, meditation has been a game changer. And I just love it. And I love how it makes me show up to my world. And then there's journaling as well. And again, I try to do journaling most days. And what journaling has done for me is it's been, again, it's an outlet for managing my emotions. It's helped me to do that whole brain dump, because sometimes, and especially this year, I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel as if I'm a conehead. The conehead people that were in the 80s, was it the film in the 80s? And you just feel as if your head has just expanded with all these thoughts that are going about. And sometimes it's really heavy and it's overwhelming. And what journaling does is it gets all that out there, and then your head can return to a normal human looking size. And it can give you that space again. It's all about creating space, bringing space in for yourself to look at it objectively and look at it, without judgment, just getting that bit of clarity around it. And from there, again, you've got choice. You can take action based on, whatever it is down there on the bit of paper. It can really help with, communication skills. If I'm going into a difficult conversation, whether it's in work or whether it's at home or even whether it's with a client, I'll write down, I'll do a bit of journaling beforehand about what I want to say and how I want to show up in that exchange, that communication exchange, that I want to show up from a place of love. I want to show up from a place of non-judgment. I want to still express my opinion without blame, without having to, point the finger at anyone. And my communications are much more improved as a result of me taking that time beforehand to write out what I want to express. This year I've been doing a lot of work on the shadow self, that dark side of us that we all have, and that we didn't like to admit that we've got, that we have feelings of anger, we have feelings of jealousy, we have feelings of, resentment at times. We all have these emotions, but we've got them, but sometimes we didn't like to admit them, and I certainly didn't like to admit them, because I was seen out there as this shiny, happy person, and she never, she's always smiley, she's always happy. Well, no, I'm no. Sometimes, I compare myself to other people. Sometimes I'm envious to other people. Sometimes I get angry, and by me using journaling to, be totally honest with myself and accept that I have got that part of me, you know, embrace my shadow, shine my light on my shadow. It then helped me to heal from it. And again, this year I've been doing a lot of, I've had all this space this year to do all this deep work, but it's been really powerful, and I've, you know, really up leveled as a result of it, but it's been dark at times. And I've done a lot of inner child work, and you know, I believe we've all got inner child work to do, and it's stuff that, you know, has happened to us as children that's unresolved, and it's shown up in our adult life. And for me, journaling as well as my quantum energy coaching has really, really helped to heal my inner child, you know, and establish what she needs, what was unfulfilled in her. And from there, I can heal her. And then I brought in meditation from that as well. So I'll now maybe once a week meditate and go into a wee meditation, bring my inner child in, wee Marie Claire, and say, right, how are you today? What do you need? You know, and maybe some days she'll need a wee cuddle, maybe some days she'll just need extra acknowledgement. Other days she's fine just playing with her dolls or whatever it is. But, you know, just journaling has been, you know, opened me up to really recognising my shadow and the inner child healing that needs to be done. And by doing that through journaling, through meditation, through quantum energy coaching, my self-confidence has soared, and my belief in myself, how I view myself, my feelings of self-worth have really, really come into their own this year. This time last year, I would be up all night doing something like this. You know, I probably wouldn't have even approached Stephen, because and I'm not wanting to get you big-headed here, Stephen, but I see you as a guru in the field, and I would have just felt unworthy of, you know, being able to do a collaboration like this with you. So by me using journaling, meditation, my quantum energy coaching, I now, you know, feel that I can step forward and do the job that I was put here on this earth to do, and it's to shine my light and to help other people to heal, to grow, to up level, to be the person that they truly deserve to be. So that's and another thing that journaling can do is it really helps to spark creativity. When you give yourself that blank piece of paper to just free write, it's unbelievable the amount of, you know, creativity that comes through you. It's unbelievable the amount of ideas that come through you. It's a really beautiful experience to try if you've not already done that, and I'm sure many of you have already, you're already journaling and you're getting all these benefits from it. And then we move on to our tribe, and that was something that I really had to, I didn't want to blank that sun out, but because it's so beautiful coming in here, but I feel as if I can't see. So again, this was something that was a really difficult thing for me in terms of my self-care toolkit, but something that was really vitally important in order for me to, you know, like myself and to like the world that I was living in. And a personal development guru, Jim Rohn, says you're the average of the 5 people you spend most time with, and it's about your tribe. And as human beings, you know, again, going into that energy, we give off a vibration, we give off an energy, and the people that are in our circle feed off that energy, absorb that energy, unless you've got your protection shield on, and I'll talk about that in a wee minute. But and they're even saying now, the research that they're doing is that we can feed off people's energy even when they're not in the same room as us. So if we're, you know, in the social space, the online space, and we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on whatever, we're watching the news, we're reading newspapers, you know, you're feeding off that energy that's coming at you unless you've got your protection shield in. And I ask you, you know, if you've not already done it, you know, take this exercise away and think about the 5 people or the 5 Facebook pages or the 5, you know, Instagram accounts or the 5 TV channels that you're watching, and describe them. You know, describe them in 5 words. And after you've done that exercise, you've then got 25 words that are describing the energy that you're feeding into. And, you know, if that is like positive, if it's upbeat, if it's optimistic, if it's loving, if it's kind, if it's, you know, all these these higher vibrational energies, then great. I would then say to you, if you're the average of the 5 things, then you're flying, my friend. You are in a good place. However, if you're sitting watching the news for 2 hours every day, or you're on Facebook and you find yourself scrolling through, you know, folk having arguments on Facebook, or even if, you know, the people that are in close contact with you, you know, they're maybe, you know, giving off a negativity. Watch out for that, because whether you're consciously aware of it or not, it will be absorbed into your psyche, and it will, you know, manifest in how you're showing up to the world. And, you know, I'm not saying, you know, kick your husband out or kick your kids out or whatever. Please don't do that. But if you're finding that the people that you have to be, or you choose to be in close contact with, are maybe in a darker place at the moment, and that's, you know, we're there to heal, we're there to shine a light, we're there to, you know, bring them out of the ditch rather than go back into the ditch and, you know, wallow there with them. My very first personal development course that I went on, you know, in my early 20s, it was a guy called Jack Black, and he done Mind Store for Life and Mind Store for Business, and he done it in the the concert hall in Glasgow, and God, the place was packed. It was like the Scottish Tony Robbins. It was just an incredible experience. And the one thing that he used to talk about was about the bell jar, and the bell jar was something they used to get in science, and you would put it over something and it created like a wee vacuum and a nice wee healthy environment for whatever was under it. And he used to talk about, if you're going into your work and, you know, I mean, I do some work for West Lothian Council, and, you know, Jane, I know you did too, and you would go into the office on a Monday and it'd be like, hi, how are you? No, bad. And, you know, everybody would talk about the weather and how crap the weather was and how crap their boss was and everything. So what Jack Black used to told you to do is he used to say, right, pretend you've got this bell jar, and when you're going into that situation, he used to like do a wee tune, and it would be like do-do-do, 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 bring your bell jar down, and that energetically protects your energy from any toxicity that's coming at it. And that was something that I really had to do. And when I, you know, really stepped into, you know, personal development, coaching, and, you know, putting myself out there to help people in this world, a lot of my friends didn't like it. They didn't want me to change. They wanted me still to be Marie Claire who got steaming on a weekend and woke up on a Sunday morning and was full of the fear and self-loathing and everything like that. And when I started to change, they didn't like it. And they kind of distanced themselves from me. A few years are nodding, so I'm wondering if you can go through this experience. And it was a horrible, horrible experience, but I had to, you know, for myself, for my self-care, for what I wanted to do in the world, I had to just push on through that. And, you know, what that then did was that created space again to bring new people in. You know, new tribe members and people who got me, who truly got me and what I was all about, and that I didn't have to pretend I was somebody else to, you know, for them to like me. It's actually went round full circle again, and, you know, the people that did go away for a long time, they now see me as my true self, and they're back in there, loving what I'm doing. So if that's something that's, you know, you're going through at the moment, I would just, you know, advise, what I did was just stick with it, listen to your soul, listen to who you are at your authentic core, and be that person. You know who that person is. Put your bell jar on if you need to, and, you know, just speak your truth and show up to the world as the person that you're truly meant to be, and the right people will come along. Your tribe will come along, I promise. And then quantum energy coaching. How am I for time? Oh, you want me to shut up, Stephen? I'm all right. Can I keep going? So, quantum energy coaching. I had my first experience of quantum energy coaching, but this time last year, and I was starting to feel a bit unsettled and just no really, you know, feeling as if I was living my best life. And, you know, I realised that I needed something. I realised that there was something unconsciously going on with me. Externally, everything was well, my relationships were good, business was good, but I just knew that there was this unsettledness in me. There was this something that just needed to be rooted out, released, and healed. So I went to see a woman, Dr. Melanie Salmon, who developed the modality, which is quantum energy coaching, and I had a session with her. And what we found out actually blew my mind about what the subconscious mind does and how it stores past memories, the beliefs, the conditioning, the stories, the trauma, how it stores this. And sometimes we didn't even know that it's storing it. So what we spoke about during that session is we spoke about, you know, how I was feeling and how I was feeling really unsettled, and how, God, we're running up to Christmas. Everything's so good. I feel so like ungrateful for my life because I'm just no happy, and, you know, I didn't know what's going on. And what was pulled out during that session was things that had happened round about this time a year over the course of my life. And energetically, my subconscious mind was storing that as trauma in my body and my mind. And round about that time of year, it was kind of sending a trigger. It was kind of putting me into fight flight mode, you know, thinking, here we are, we're coming into December, something bad's going to happen. And what had happened, you know, over the course of my life was round about Christmas, I'd lost, you know, 4 of my grandparents. You know, they all became ill round about Christmas time and died shortly afterwards. My husband Craig, his dad, got really ill with a brain tumour on the 23rd of December and died shortly afterwards. I got ill, I went through a major operation 1 December. My mum got really ill. So these were all traumas. And, you know, for all I thought that I had healed from them and I had moved on, my subconscious mind was like, no, you've no healed from them. You've shut them in a wee box. You've no, you know, dealt with them, and they're still here, and they need to be, you know, forgiven. They need to be released, all the emotional attachment to it, and you need to move forward, looking forward. And that's what we did in the session. We done a lot of forgiveness work. That's what you do with quantum energy coaching. You forgive the traumas of the past, you know. And it sounds crazy that I was forgiving my grandparents for dying, but again, it's a trauma. You have to forgive a trauma before you can release it. And then again, it created that space in my subconscious mind to put something new in, and those new beliefs where, you know, I'm so excited about Christmas, I'm so connected to the people that I love, and, you know, it's a really special time, and it gives me a chance to, you know, relax a bit because I'm not as busy with work and all that kind of stuff. And it was, oh my God, so powerful. Last year was the best festive period I've ever had in my life, and it was genuinely good. I wasn't going in and going to the party nights and dancing away to, I wish it could be Christmas every day, and just no feeling it. I really was feeling it. And after that session, I was like, wow, I need to train in this. This is my next step. And I've been so lucky this year to be able to train as a quantum energy coach under Dr. Melanie Salmon. I've called out all the BS stories that I was telling myself, all the limiting beliefs and the conditioning that was holding me back, and I've installed new, better serving, powerful beliefs. You know, because we're working with the subconscious, it's permanent, it's easy to do, and it's immediate. You know, the subconscious part of the mind is where the power to change resides. We can affirm. We can write down, you know, what we want to manifest. We can do vision boards and everything like that, but that's all being done consciously. And we have to just work at that all the time. And it does work. However, if you've not got that deep-seated belief there in the subconscious part of your mind, it's never really going to truly happen. So that's, again, I get quantum energy coaching every 2 weeks now, and sometimes I'll go in and it'll just be a silly wee, well, it sounds like a silly wee thing, like, you know, I don't know, I just want to eat less crisps this next 2 weeks. I've got this belief that I can't stop eating crisps. And then we'll do a wee session round about that. Or we'll be like, right, you know, I've done this work on my inner child and something's came up. Let's release it. Let's create that space and let's put a new belief in there as well. And it's super, super, super powerful. And I'm so grateful that I'm now trained to do it and I'm able to, you know, share this powerful modality with my clients.
Can I just say something on that, Marie-Claire?
Yes, you can.
I've had your quantum energy coaching and I honestly cannot recommend it enough.
We had some powerful sessions, didn't we, Jane?
Some really powerful
Mind
sessions.
blown.
Mind blowing. Like, I'm a really practical person when it comes down to, I like results. I like just to get stuff done. And this does that, doesn't it? You're so ridiculously skilled. It's about obviously going where you need to go, and it's quite organic in that respect. You know, it's like what we're talking about today, what's on your mind, what's really, and you like, I'm going to name you the scab picker.
I'm the scab picker.
Because there was one session we did where you were like, but do you really believe this, Jane? And I remember this, and I'm like, what do I do? I totally believe this. She's like, I think you do. I'm like, I do. I really don't think you do. By the end of it, I was like, I don't think I do either.
And I didn't make everybody cry, but sometimes crying is a beautiful release of emotion. You know, I think we need to cry. You know, we need to encourage our children or, you know, partners to cry more, because then you're releasing.
That's it. And then you're basically installing, like you say, you're really, you know, it's so quick. It's so quick. It's a case of, right, okay, we've hit a sore point here. This is what we need to work on. What statements do we want? What do we want to install? Just get it done. And then you install them, and it's so powerful. And like you say, sometimes you don't know how you're going to respond, because you don't know how your subconscious is going to respond. Sometimes you're just like, this is great. It's almost like an elated feeling of, wow, this is like a real breakthrough. And then other times it's so emotional, it's so overwhelming. And you know that there's stuff happening, you know that there's going to be stuff. And then it takes a few days. It can take up to 7 days, does it? Did you say, or 10 days?
7 to 10 days,
7 to 10 days to actually install. But I cannot emphasize enough how life-changing, because like you say, I'm all about the tools and all about all the things you're talking about in terms of you know, gratitude journaling, vision boarding, and it's worked for me. It's worked for me amazingly. But clearly the universe decided, right, you now need to take this to the next level of, you need to work, you really need to go deep, you know, go deep, you need to get this done so that you can actually go to the next level of what you want and what you deserve, because it's all about the belief of what you deserve.
Kind of like peeling an onion. That's how I describe it. You know, you get the layer off and then you've got the next layer off, and then you're like, oh shit, there's another layer here. You get that layer off and then you find another layer until you get to that sweet spot, and then you truly heal, and then you build it back up again.
I really like the bit you did as well about the 7, because that's really delving deep about the 7 levels of why. Of what do you want to do? And then it's like, why do you want to do that? Okay, 7 reasons why. It's really so that you're not just having these superficial, well, yeah, I'd quite like to do that, or I think I need to do that because of this reason. It's like, yeah, you need 7 more reasons why that's really important. It really just makes you, it's just awesome. I cannot stress enough how awesome quantum energy coaching is. That's it.
Great, I'll give you that tenner later, Jane. No, I mean, your sessions were super, super powerful, and you know, 4 sessions you had, and just the shift, you know, and
that was in September, I think we did that.
Yeah, it was.
In September, yeah, incredible.
Good. I love that. I love it. So that's quantum energy coaching. As you probably can tell, I'm really, really passionate about it, and you know how it's a massive part of my self-care toolkit, as is fitness. And we all know that we should be keeping ourselves fit, and we all know that, you know, we should be exercising regularly, but sometimes we give ourselves, you know, reasons not to. And these are the benefits. These are the physical benefits for, you know, keeping ourselves doing some form of fitness most days, or, you know, 4 or 5 times a week. Again, it's about these hormones, you know, get the endorphins pumping around our body, making us feel good, making us feel alive. Great benefits for our muscle strength and endurance. It really helps to, you know, pump the oxygen and the nutrients that we need to our tissues. Our metabolic rate increases. It helps us to lose body fat. Brilliant benefits for, you know, reducing that resting heart rate, and which has the impact on our blood pressure, and also helps to reduce blood sugar and improves our resistance to insulin, which is massively important just now in the world, because we have got, we've got another pandemic going on, and that is type 2 diabetes. So if we, you know, along with a, you know, healthy diet, you know, a nutritious diet, then having fitness and, you know, proper nutrition really helps with that. And again, immune system. How many times, you know, have you heard about immune system this year? You know, and what fitness can do, because it's helping the body work that much more efficiently. It helps to boost our immune system. And then there are also so many mental well-being benefits, you know, really helping to decrease our stress levels, improving our mood. You know, I don't know how many times over the years Craig said to me, Marie-Claire, will you go out a run and come back in a better mood? You know, and it always works. I go out, crab it with him, and then I come back and I'm like, all right, darling. You know, it always helps to improve your mood. Again, boosting your self-esteem, because you're doing something for yourself, you're honouring your body, you're honouring your mind, and that always increases your feelings of, you know, self-worth, deserving, confidence, and again, that better night's sleep. And then another one, I'm just going to touch on this briefly, is about my superfood powders. And I introduced superfood powders into my life 8-9 years ago now, and I started off with a green blend. At the time I suffered really badly with PMT and just lack of energy. Joanna and I had just set up Dream Fitness, and I was doing crazy amount of classes a week, maybe about 15 classes a week, as well as my own training, and I was really feeling like my energy levels were depleted, having an effect on my hormone health. And somebody suggested I tried a green blend, and within 1 month of me taking it, that cloud of PMT went away. I was sleeping better, my energy levels were improved, and I was hooked from there. I then joined the company at the time and became a consultant for them, and done really well. The company unfortunately had to close their doors 3 years ago. Brilliant product, not so good on the business side of things. So they had to close their doors, and I knew I could not be without superfood powders in my life. So a wee moment of creativity, I then just created my own blend, started sharing it with my friends and my families, was getting great reviews back, set up, you know, the Facebook page, and it's just grown arms and legs since then. And I'm super grateful to be able to help so many people's mental and physical well-being as a result of my superfood powders. I've since created a red blend, which is great for, you know, hormone health, people going into, you know, the menopausal stage of life. The blue blend, brilliant for sleep support, skin health, and, you know, managing stress in our body. And then the black blend, which is a functional mushroom and coffee blend that does not taste like mushrooms, I might add. Jane's got it. And it's great for giving you that natural energy boost without, you know, as much caffeine into your system. So self-care toolkit.
Doesn't taste like
self-care toolkit. And then finally, I know I've went over time. Sorry, Stephen. Sleep. Why is it important to get a good night's sleep? And if you were on the surgery yesterday, the person who was along would have told you all this. So I'll just briefly go over this. You know, there's a guy called Matthew Walker who's done a massive sleep survey, and he's actually written a book called Why We Sleep. He does loads of podcasts if you want to check him out, loads of stuff on YouTube. And he has proven that, you know, sleep is a massive, massive part of our self-care toolkit. And we should be prioritising our sleep. I used to have a saying, a belief that, you know, if people were saying, oh, when do you ever sleep? You know, you're working and you're doing all this all the time. And I used to say, oh, I'll sleep when I'm old, until I read Matthew Walker's book and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be old before I want to be, because I'm not prioritising sleep. You know, it's got so many benefits to our, you know, brain health, our body's health. It lowers the risks of you know, certain health conditions, types of cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease and diabetes. And it helps to regulate our calories. And when we're getting that good night's sleep, it boosts our efficiency, concentration levels and productivity. Now, I'm a mummy twins. They're 11 now, twin girls. And when the girls were born, they did not sleep a full night for 20 months. I was a basket case, and I eventually had to go to the doctors after a breakdown. I can laugh about it now, but it was not funny. And I just went into the doctor's office and said, burst out crying, and went, I can't cope. You're either going to have to give me something to sleep so I didn't hear them, or you're going to have to give them something to sleep so I didn't wake up. I was at breaking point, you know, and it was affecting my relationship with Craig. It was affecting my relationship with Kieran. He was only 5 years old at the time. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. You know, sleep is so important to our self-care and how we show up to our world the next again day. And, you know, great ways to, you know, get a good sleep hygiene. You know, what I do is I get this phone, it's switched off an hour before I go to my bed. You know, that digital detox, getting rid of the blue light. I like a wee cup of chamomile tea before I go to my bed to settle myself down. A nice bath. You know, I do my gratitude journal, which settles down my autonomic nervous system and gets me into that place where I'm ready to, you know, go to bed sleeping. And I always pop on a meditation when, you know, to get me to sleep at night. So that's, you know, tips and techniques that I use to get me into that good night's sleep. And, you know, generally I'm waking up in the morning really refreshed, ready for the day, ready to, you know, hit the ground running. So thank you so much. That's me. I would love to connect more with those of you that I'm not already. I can be found pretty much most places. Instagram, I'm Dream Magic Blends, or Coaching by MC. On Facebook, I've got the Dream Magic Superfood Powders, but we've also got the Dream Fitness business page there. Love for you to, you know, reach out, let me know how you found the session today, and, you know, let's be pals. So thank you so much. If anybody's got any questions, happy to answer them as best as I can. I'll just stop this share there, and you're all back in the room.
Where are you based?
Is that you, Linda? Sorry.
Sorry, where are you based?
So I live in Armadale. A lot of my coaching work, etc., is online. My fitness classes at the moment are online for now, but we have got a gym in Bathgate. It's right next to the Balbardy pub. I don't know if you're familiar with.
No,
don't
know.
With so it's in Bathgate.
Not that pub.
No, that pub, no. I've seen you in that one. No, so it's right next to the Balbardy pub. We do outside boot camps and things like that. We're still able to do them at the moment, and I'm hoping next year that I'll get a wee space in Stephen's place to do some form of coaching or other stuff. Hopefully, if he'll have me. No pressure.
Absolutely. I think everything that you do just complements everything that our ethos at the Soul Man and Friends. So yeah, absolutely. We can have a coffee and a chat about that anyway. So
that would be great. That would
we actually get time to have a coffee.
I know.
Terrible.
I know.
I've got a couple of questions for you. And the first one is with your Spirulina Super Blend Dream Magic powders. Now, I've tried Spirulina before, and I find it the most disgusting, awful, horrible tasting stuff.
Are you all right, Stephen?
I'm just being honest, right?
You've not tried mine, have you?
I have. Emma Lavin had given it to me in orange juice, right?
Yes.
And I have to say, it's probably the nicest way I have ever had it. But the green look of it when it's in it, like I get how good it is for my health, but I want to find a way to ingest it without feeling. I didn't even feel sick. I think it's just the green colour that
The
bothers me.
bogginess of the colour. See it how it is, Stephen. See it how
Exactly. You know, I have to be honest.
boggin.
It's no boggin. Like I love what it does because I've got so many friends that take it daily. They take Spirulina, they take mycelium products, all of this different stuff that's so good for our health. But I want a way which I can ingest it where I don't feel like, oh my God, I'm drinking green algae.
Right. So I would suggest manning up, first of all, right?
Exactly. God's sake.
No,
Typical bloke.
honestly.
I so
Done.
knew he was going to be saying that. It was funny there, waiting for him to say it.
Sorry, honestly.
So orange juice, can I take it in orange juice? Maybe putting it into a smoothie where you wouldn't taste it into a smoothie. I'll make a, like, I don't know how you, if you like broccoli or like leeks or anything, I'll make like a soup, like with garlic, onion. I'll then put broccoli, cauliflower into it, maybe some leeks, and then I'll just blend it all down, add the Dream Magic to that. You don't eat, you know, it's a bit of a faff to take
That's
it,
a
you know.
game changer.
But you can do that. If it's still bogging, then maybe try the blue blend, maybe try the red blend. You know, they've all got really high doses of nutrients and, you know, minerals that the body needs. And, you know, there's maybe just something about the spirulina or, you know, the chlorella. It is very, you know, it's really potent, really high levels of chlorophyll. It's fishy, aye. But it is so good for you. But there are some people that are just like, I don't care how good it is for me. I cannot take that. Try the different, try the red blend, try the blue blend, and maybe after a period of time of being on that, you'll maybe then your palate will change and you'll be able to adapt to the more potent blend that is the green.
Would you recommend having it in a shot instead? Because I could probably take a shot.
Aye, you didn't need to take. Aye, you didn't need to take a big. If you've got a juicer, you know, another good way to do it is maybe juicing a bit of ginger, an apple, and a carrot, adding it to that and knocking that back as a shot. Reducing the quantity, so maybe even without no having the teaspoon of it, have a quarter teaspoon or a half teaspoon and start building yourself up from there.
I think it's amazing though, see our body, how it, like, see when our body's feeling unhealthy, it kind of repels the good stuff until, it's really strange because see 5-6 years ago, I was really super fit, really well, really super healthy. And I used to take shots of wheatgrass in the morning and everybody would be like, wheatgrass, it's awful. I think it's just my lifestyle because I've got so used to eating cakes and bacon rolls and all the rest of it. I think it's just changed my palate maybe. Because I used to take Spirulina way back. I used to put Spirulina, I used to sprinkle it over things and
all right, so I'm going to go back to my original answer. Man up.
I think you're right. But I think putting it in soup will be a game changer for me actually, because I like soup. I like soup for lunch because I didn't like to have a heavy lunch. So I think that would be a really good thing, especially in the cold weather.
Yeah, aye, it's nice. So on my Instagram page, I've got like a wee tab at the top of my underneath my bio, and there's recipes in there, and there's loads of different recipes that you can make with the superfood powders. Like you can use I've got even wee like energy balls that you're making with like dates and nuts and things like that, and you're putting the green into that as well, and you didn't taste it. We drizzle dark chocolate over the top. So
Yeah. See, I'm doing a lot of strength training right now. I'm doing PT with one of my really good friends, and I'm finding that my energy's like dropping quite quickly. So I'm
you need
looking
to get
for
extra
something
protein in.
looking for something to kind of give me that wee boost. So
Mhm.
aye, thank you for that. I was really interested, and I am really interested in your superfoods. Is it superfoods?
Superfood powder blends.
Yeah. So aye, quite excited about that. We'll have a coffee. We'll have what is it? The black blend.
We'll have a black coffee. Yes.
That one. Aye, we can have one of them. I think that's all I've really got to ask you, though. Anybody else got any questions for Mary Claire before we finish? No.
No, thank you. That was really good.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming along. I'm really grateful.
No, thank you. And would you come back, Mary Claire, over the next couple of weeks?
Absolutely.
Yay!
All right, I've really enjoyed it.
We'll get you back in another day then, and we'll do another wee surgery with you on something different.
Right.
Or just more focused on one of the things that you do.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested in hearing more about your quantum energy coaching.
Oh,
I was just thinking that too.
I could talk about that. But what I could maybe do then is I could maybe do a wee, even like a live demo of it, and we could do a wee group session, and I could show you, because it's 3 different parts to it. So you've got the Gestalt coaching part at the start, where you're holding space, you're exploring what the issue is. There's then a bit about co-creation of the new belief statements that you want to be installed into your subconscious mind. And then the installation takes part by adopting a certain body position and, bringing the right and the left hemisphere of the brain together. It's totally mind blowing, all the neuroscience behind it and everything. So I would happily do a wee live group session if you were up for that.
Great. Yeah. Well, you and I can speak afterwards anyway, or we can chat over the next few days, and we'll put all that together, and then we'll get a date for it over the next couple of weeks.
Fab.
All righty.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mary Claire, for coming on, and thanks everybody for coming and listening and showing your cameras, because nobody's been showing their cameras all week, and you guys have, so great.
Yes. I'm just going to make you the host again, Stephen.
Aye, that's fine. And this will be recorded as well, guys. So are you guys all okay for this to be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel? Yeah.
Aye.
Aye. The big aye for Kelly.
That me host again?
That's your host again.
Perfect.
Oh, wait, I've not even brushed my hair, but aye. Okay.
Look gorgeous, Kelly.
Thanks.
And I've got my pajamas on in the bottom half.
Oh, va.
It's crazy.
I've got my lippy on though.
That's the beauty of Zoom. You can get away having whatever you want on the bottom half.
I've got my jammies on the top half.
Well, I'm away to drop my wife off at uni, and then I'm going to have PT for an hour. So I'm like,
Oh, well, enjoy.
Excuses not to go. Just need to push myself. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and
Thank you.
See you all later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.